You're listening to Let's Go, the weekly anime podcast about weekly anime from Dynamite in the Brain and Secret of the Sailor Madness. So come along and hang with the Let's Go gang. It's Dwayne.
Hello.
It's Niall.
How are ye?
And it's me, Brian. And on this episode, we are covering anime that aired the week of May the 18th to May the 24th, 2024. Starting with Detective Conan, episode 1124, The Body on the Gunma-Nagano Border, Part 2.
For unrelated reasons, is this the last episode of Detective Conan?
The shocking conclusion.
No. Yeah.
No, but we talked about last week how they like to get cute with the voice acting casting. And
Yeah.
last week that has come back to bite them with Furia revealing himself to be something of a creep, using the role he's playing in this show.
The character was named after him.
I'm especially glad I didn't watch that Netflix go on dates with Zero special kind of thing. I'm just like, that makes it even worse somehow, because that's specifically what he used to be sex pest.
Like, it would just be the one thing, like, you know, if he was fucking playing away behind his voice back, that would be the one thing. He's a dog, you know, you'd be disappointed.
That would suck, sure.
But it's just in his fun statement interview thing, it was just, and this, and this, and all of these.
Further sex crime.
Yep. Oh, yeah, and that too. It just kept going. It's just like, wow, this is a man who knows there's no way back.
Yeah.
And unlike all the other roles where you recast him, it's not really much of an issue. The problem is the character is named after him. Twice.
Yeah. So that sucks.
Well, there's always rum and a bullet. Right.
Save us, rum. Save us from this fucking bobble we've fucking got ourselves.
I have to go deep undercover now as a quadruple agent. You might never see me again.
I changed my name to Guy Incognito. No way this could go wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we'll see how they get out of that. Because Conan is the one where it's the trickiest. Because
yes.
It's so tied into the story and the character and the actor. And
you could just recast them. You can just take those go on a date with Zero videos and put them in a big fire and just like forget about that.
Yes,
that never fucking happened.
Yeah, because you recast him, but you're still gonna have the reminder of the guy who used to be in the role in the names of the character.
Could he take on a third secret name? I guess that was the thing.
Does everyone call him Zero now?
Yes.
The only thing you could do was just like fucking let the whole cat out of the bag, you know.
Yeah.
I legally changed my name to Zero, like Cher or something, you know. It's just like
Zero.
That would be it.
Yeah, just either refer to him as Zero or Bob, and I guess you could just dial him back and then just refer to that. But we'll see what they do.
Get another 70-year-old man who gets you. Tesho again, he's probably pretty old right now. It'd be a bit of a leap, but you know, he's the right age.
Yeah. It's the fact I hadn't realised he'd started dyeing his hair to look like the character as well. It's like,
oh my god, yeah, and he's got the fake tan.
It's like 70 years old.
Okay, well, I thought he was just kind of like, you know, he's a leathery old dude in showbiz. That's kind of like a look you get.
It could be, but in this case, I think it's specifically him trying to imitate the character for the purposes of sex crime.
Detective Conan, back to the actual plot. He's not in this episode. We don't have to worry about it for this episode.
No,
they got to solve this murder. Well, turns out they've pretty much solved it, and then they're just being cute about it until they get around to solving the clue of the weird pose of adjusting your tie, adjusting your belt.
We've got 4 master detectives, 2 idiot detectives, and 3 of the master detectives have already figured it out last fucking episode, but they refuse to tell anyone. So, you know, it's all pretty clean.
Lads.
It's just how they go about it and that kind of shit. But
yes.
Yeah.
And there's additional fun stuff of how the other 2 Nagano detectives love that Rand's here because she understands what Kome is saying and can explain.
She explains it in a metaphor. Oh, he's referring to the specific works of this general, where by saying this thing, he meant this thing. They're like, oh, thank fucking Christ. I fucking hate this obtuse motherfucker. And he's weird fucking, it's like the general in springtime. And it's like, shut the fuck up. We don't understand you, coworker.
He's just constantly quoting lines from Romance of the Three Kingdoms, in reference to everything he does. Though we do see him explain it himself right at the end of the episode, so he is.
I mean, like, I guess he was. I think it's because he was sick of a fucking child explaining all his fucking metaphors. He's like, "Fucking, I'll do it." You know, frustration doesn't come across, but I like to think he was hearing them in the background saying, "It's like I can finally understand what the fuck he's talking about."
I think also because now he's met Masao and realised they've got this shared connection with his brother. It's like, oh, well, here's somebody who understands how I feel, and I could make him feel a bit better by passing on the information that I understand of my brother. While meanwhile, this 5-year-old child looks sinister at us, as if he knows more than we do.
The culmination of that, we're just like, don't worry, my brother's still a police officer. He went into double secret police officer things where they have to say, I'm leaving the police force, and you can't even tell your family about it. So he's the super ultra secret police in a not fucking ultra state way, in a cool way, that he's basically superhero. And they're like, oh well, I guess we'll see him again someday. Cut to Conan. It's just like,
I can't remember if Conan knows for sure.
I think he's put it together. I don't think he knows, like, for sure. Right. Yeah.
I think he knows of, like, that's the quabble between Zero and Shuichi, is the death of somebody else who was in the Black Organization.
And he's seen a lot of the Black Organization relatively recently, timeline-wise. So he's just like, well, I'm just counting who's not in the fucking room, basically.
So what of this murder? Well, turns out that 3 of the 4 of these streamers, rotters.
Yeah.
And that's basically that's not the murderer. The murderer is not the rotter of the 4.
Again, the murderer is like, it wasn't a misunderstanding. It's like, oh no, I meant to kill that cunt. That was entirely on fucking purpose. Fuck that guy.
Murderer is justified. You're on his side.
I was just trying to kill him because he's a prick and get away with it because, you know, I mean, like, I don't want to go to jail. Come on.
I could catch you from jail that I know of.
Yeah.
Wait.
So 5 years ago, they saved a girl from a car crash.
It was a car hanging over a ledge kind of thing, and they pulled the girl out, but they didn't manage to save the mother who was in the driver's seat. Terrible tragedy, and they discerned this from was like, hey, this photo of all you guys, I guess, streaming about who's the best hot springs, and there's a small child with you. What's the deal with that? It's like, oh, that's that little girl we saved in that famous incident 5 years ago. It's like, yes, it was on all the news. Yeah, that was us.
And then just at that point, don't think too hard about the timelines.
Nope.
But it turns out the reason they could have saved the mother, but the victim convinced 2 of the other streamers, no, we should wait for the ambulance gets here so we become more viral when they see us pulling the mother out of the car.
Yeah, so the one had taken the kid away and was like, I'm trying to calm her down because she was really panicking, obviously. And then the other 2 were about to pull her out, and the guy who was murdered was like, if we pull her out right as the car goes over the cliff, that'll be class. And they're like, are you sure we should wait for the ambulance? Yeah, it'll be fine. And then while they've been talking, the car goes over the fucking cliff. And that footage was probably like delete, that kind of thing. But they did find a copy of it, or rather the daughter of the dead mother did. And it was like, oh, she was going to blackmail him. So he pushed her down some stairs as a common way to assassinate someone, I guess. And one's like, oh, I'm going to fucking take him out and make sure it looks like me and the other 2 are implicated. So maybe one of those guys will go to fucking jail for their part in this death and attempted murder. Yeah.
And she did it by putting the wrist weight that the daughter, who's currently in a coma, had given her as a present. That was the blackjack in the sock.
And they asked her, like, why could you get rid of it? It's like, it was a precious wrist weight given to me by the girl we saved.
A wrist weight.
It was something like, she had her own story. It was like, I said to her, I want to lose weight, but it's so hard when I'm streaming. I don't have time to exercise. So she got me this wrist weight so I could exercise by just moving my arms around while streaming. And it was such a thoughtful gift that I could use it as a murder weapon, but I couldn't fucking throw it in a bush or something. I had to tie it up in my bun of my hair. Yes. It's like, that must have made you. And they noticed this by how she was bending down to pick up stuff and that kind of stuff. And I was just like, I wouldn't have picked up on that, but I am not a master detective who could figure out puns based on how people arrange their bodies on the border between 2 districts in order to get across who the fucking murderer is. Yeah.
Yes, but yes, they figured it out because they like the other thing with the hair was they'd seen the photo and they were like, well, we know how long our colleague Yui's hair is when she's got her hair tied up in a bun. That you can't have grown your hair that long in this.
Because the photo was only for like a
time.
month or two ago. Yeah.
So therefore, you must be hiding it in your hair. And there's like, I could have got away with it if I'd just been willing to throw that weight away. And then Kobe's like, no, because we'd have figured it out from the clues that the victim had given us. Because of when I saw the photo of Michelle's hideaway with my brother, and how his brother had told Michelle this was his house because the entrance of their hideaway had fallen in such a way that when you use the borderline and the way the word for entrance looked,
if you drew like a line through all the characters, basically
slightly faded with the line drew throughout, it looked like his name, and that's how it connected in Kobe's head as like, this is what this guy was trying to do. He'd opened his mouth to look like one character. He turned his wrist strap to look like another character. He grabbed hold of his belt to look like the same character, and he formed an X with his boots. And then the line, you drew the line through it, and it spelt her name.
It's so fucking like, quick,
so
to arrange my body in the shape of someone's name, my murderer's name. It's very important I do this. It's like, I don't know, man. Like, you had a mobile phone, you could try calling an ambulance and said, all right, fair enough, you do you. It was also funny, your man going, whereas it's like, he said the secret base we made in the woods was my house, and they have the shabby Dr. House looking detective kind of going, is this like, did you come from a broken home? He's like, no, I didn't fucking come from like, a lot of the humor in this is all these detectives, some smart, some stupid, some behaving stupid and smart, some behaving smart and stupid, like interacting with each other. Like I liked it when the one guy was like, hey, where were you at the time of the murder? He's like, I was in my room. I got room service at the time though, so they talked to me through the door. And it's like, our sleepy detective was like, you look at a porn, weren't you? And your man was like, yeah, I was looking at porn. I was just like, you guys are so stupid. It's very fun to have all of them bounce off.
It's like, well, they're already good at solving certain mysteries, and just you got like, a Columbo won't always cut it. Maybe you need a Quincy or a fucking or a House sometimes.
Yeah. The combination of detectives is what solved it. Like last fucking episode, but they didn't fucking tell us until this one.
And they explained to the viewer what a ring light is.
I thought it was going to be like the ring light was projecting her silhouette that she set up. It's like, no, the ring light was her silhouette placed on a suitcase and tied up, so the jumper over it arranged a bobble to make it look like it was her, a bun on her head, I should say.
Yes.
And it was just like she had a phone set up on like a pulley system, so that when she rang her second mobile phone for work, they all explained that they all had one for work and one for personal use, because that's what streamers do, like real fucking professional streamers. You know, you got your two phones set up.
Who else does that?
Drug dealers?
Yes, so,
I don't know.
Me, funny enough.
So yeah, because I may have to threaten work to give me a phone as well, because I don't want to put their two-factor authentication on my phone.
Yeah, that's a good reason to do it, to be fair.
Same.
Yeah, so it's basically set up so that when she rang the other phone, it would shake and pull the curtain. It would fall off the table and pull the curtain open.
Yeah, it was tied to the curtain string, so the silhouette would just like, the curtain would pull automatically, and she'd set up a silhouette of herself. Well, she was ringing herself from the parking lot and beating him to death with a hand weight, or a wrist weight, I should say. Yeah. It was the perfect crime, except the fact that he arranged his name in the shape of the murderer's name on the borderline.
Yes, it's like the crime is pretty clever, but as they point out, there's no such thing as a perfect crime. The clue is full on. Professor Layton, here's a puzzle. Figure it out.
You arranged the body into the shape of the murderer's name? Yeah.
You have 7 bodies. Can you arrange them without crossing over a line?
Have they ever done a murder with the matchstick one where you change the number from one to the other or something like that? That feels like a Conan thing.
I feel like they have. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like
that does seem like their jam.
But sometimes these things like the standing on a block of ice with your head in a noose. That's an early one, which is less of a puzzle. That's more like a here are the clues.
Well, it's how to watch Conan. You know, you gotta like have a tutorial level, and then this builds you up.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's your canon for now. Let's see when they're back and what it will contain.
Cast.
Yes, who will be in the cast when it returns? Then we got Jellyfish Can't Swim at Night, episode 7, Daybreak.
Or like Niall and Dwayne break, am I right now?
Hey, the sun shines in a new day. We're probably gonna do this because at the core of it, it's trying to, like, you know, that's about some things we've all felt at some point in our lives. It's just like, man, everyone else seems to, like, you know, they got this idea of like where they're going, like, you know, they're going to go to like, you know, university, like Mason, they're going to music school, and
you got a third level education plan, and they have a like a career in mind after this, that kind of thing. Yeah,
Yours going to go to art school. It's like, yeah, that makes sense. Each wants to get better at art and all that. And from Kiwi, it's just like, well, I got one, like first of all, I'm going to sort myself out. Like, I'm barely going to school, but like, I think it's better off if I'm working. But I'm going to, like, you know, take a certification because of all the days I miss and just get my secondary school like certificate. Then I'm going to kind of move
that way
in
she
this
can go into
place.
third level education, basically. Yeah.
I move in this place. There's an agency, like, you know, having like my representation might be help me out there, and like, you know, I've got to move to the side of town though, but I'm going to commute. I get there by motorbike and go to school there and stuff like that. But you know, I got to get my license now, and
so I'm taking weekend motorbike like classes so that I can actually set. And it's like, Jesus Christ, you got it all the steps planned out. I was like, yeah, I mean, you got to have it planned out.
Yeah, have it going. Yeah,
you weren't just like, shit, this is all I got. This was my entire plan to get to 1,000 subscribers. That was it.
I said that prayer at New Year's and everything. That this is my whole deal. I didn't need nothing else. But like, maybe like you do need material, like practical things to get things sorted out.
The thing of feeling kind of lost, and obviously on a whim, she kind of follows her to motorbike school and goes like, I'm going to get motorbike certification as well for no fucking reason, but at least it'll feel like I've achieved something when I have a little certificate and the license to drive a motorbike.
Yeah,
it'll be something.
And she does, you know, and then, like, you know, even when she gets the bike, it's just like, I know where I wanted to go on this thing, but she just goes and picks up like you're outside, like in town, out with her friend of fun, saying, "Hey, baby, you want to hop on and go somewhere?" And they get nice little moments.
That's fine. It's a nice moment. It's a nice thing. It's again,
it's just this bit in the middle. This is a bit in the middle. That's really throwing us off there.
With the end, with it playing up the romance kind of angle between them, was like that mostly works. It's not something I'm rooting for or anything, but I'm just like, yeah, I feel like this is naturally developing, and it's like they're both spurring each other on creatively and as people. And I was just like, this is nice. They have a nice moment at the beach. It's all nice. The fucking middle, it's fucking motorbike school where the fucking entire problem lies.
And also, I guess it's probably must be in a track or thing like outside of town, so they have like rooms there you can kind of stay in there for the weekend.
I think it's like a weekend course, basically. Yeah.
That's not that it isn't where it comes in, by the way. It's like, no, they're sneaking around each other's rooms. It's just they're going through the whole drills, or like they're all the things. Like, he was just kind of chilling out there taking her break, and then there's this lady up there after having a smoke. And we're getting this whole thing then about comparing each other's fucking tit sizes. And the way this lady's talking to Kiwi, like, it's just like, hey, what's up? What's going on?
It's like initially, it's like, hey, kid, you got a light. It's like, I don't smoke. It's like, yeah, that's all right. You seem cool. How big are your tits? And Kiwi's like, I'm out. All right, gotta go. I'm a creepy woman. And
it's like she's trying to pick me up or something. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very much still coming across at that stage, and they keep comparing tit sizes. Like, I'll tell you my tit size. Like, and Kiwi's like, I don't want to fucking know. I don't want to fucking say my tit size. This is a weird conversation. I want to fucking stay in touch. She's being very sensible all throughout this entire episode, and I'm just on her side. I'm just like, fuck this. But then the woman's just like, hey, check it out. I got tits enhanced. Yeah, I got breast implants. All this face, all of this is fake. I had it done. And it's like, you want to feel them in the bath later? And they're like, absolutely.
Yes.
And it's heavily censored. And I was just like, fuck this. I don't fucking care for any of this shit. And you want literally, as they're groping her tits, says, wow, these girls are high schoolers. I hope this isn't a crime, she thinks to herself. And I was like, it fucking is. It's gotta be. Like, if it's not, it fucking should be.
It's just a weird shot. She has like a fucking her top off. She has it like right there, and it's just they're having a close look, and it's just like what's obscuring them then is their head either side, kind of bobbing around in front of them, And
It
it's
is
a
a
very
clever
odd visual.
obfuscation,
It's
yeah.
why are they actually doing with these things?
And then the later obfuscation is like entirely fucking grid, blurry, mosaic blurring. That's the fucking word.
Mm.
I was just like, fuck this. I hate all of this. Like, it's, hey, it's me, a groomer. Hello, I'm a fun character. Feel bad for me because maybe I was in the Yakuza or something, or at least that's what we're implying. But like, it's just like, why did you have to make her a fucking sex pest? I like, especially this fucking week. Like, any week, to be fair. But you know,
Yeah, and it was this kind of thing, like Kiwi could have found like somebody else who didn't just, like go through life in the usual way, like and
yeah,
isn't necessarily a mistake. And this lady, like, she has her kind of regrets about it, or us, like but have to learn things the hard way. But ultimately, it's like she's going her own way, like on her own terms. That's kind of key. It's like, yeah, like there's other kind
because
of
the
weirdos
implied,
like me out there, as she puts it. So like, I don't feel too alone in it. Even Kano says, "Hey, I'm a weirdo too, and I like you. So when you're not, we're gonna all be weirdos together."
because the implied thing in the bath where they give her a bit of pathos and stuff is like she's talking about is like, hey, you can do second chances, you can remake yourself, as she has literally done. You see, like she has a heavily what do you call it, where you scar
It's one of
over a
those white
tattoo?
tattoos,
Yeah, it's a
which only
tattoo
shows
removal
up
kind of
when
thing.
it's like I think when there's like heat applied to your skin, like you break them in a hot bath, let's say.
Oh, I thought it was tattoo removal, and it was just like the
It could have been
scar.
removal as well.
Yeah,
Like I
but it's
was.
implied she had a thing before this, and that's why she's entirely changed her body. And I was like, that's interesting. Could you not creep on high school girls? That would make me more sympathetic to you as a
It was
character.
just so unnecessary. It's just like, why? What's the
Ah,
point purpose of that? It's like it was holding like his back now so well for like
Oh,
this
it been.
restraint for so many weeks now, and all this came
Mm,
pouring out all at once.
pouring out like tits out of a
yeah.
top. Like
Because it
fucking.
was
Why
going
did you
so
have
long.
to do it
Oh
like
yeah,
that?
fun for the copping on, the buckling down. These girls have got fun. More important things to be focusing on. Well, we're looking to become a romance thing, but it seems very like chaste and not too like no fucking skeevy. And then it's just like who's out? We're
Yep.
looking at each other's tit sizes. Like, oh,
Yeah.
how do I get me a pair of those? Oh, you can buy them. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sure you could even do that scene in a way that didn't make
It
you
could have
feel the
been.
way you felt about it.
It could have been.
But
It's the way much like the earlier stuff where it's like, hey, why are you making me look down this little girl's fucking top show? Like in the first episode, it's like, hang on a second, fucking. It's that kind of. It's presented skeevily. There's a way of doing it without making it skeevy and just having it being like these girls who are interested in this older woman as a role model to make a new life on, but you make her out to be a fucking creep is basically the way it's presented.
yeah,
Yeah,
That's
like like fucking like teenage girls talk about this thing, and there is a good way of doing it. I think Licorice Recoil from like a year or whatever many years ago, like no, like the secret police, but you can't forget about that bit like very early into it. They had like things like that, but it was just like, oh yeah, there's actually like a good way of doing this. It doesn't come off as like completely creepy
yeah,
or
yeah,
weird, or you go completely or different direction, like what Kaguya-sama does. One saying, yeah, teenagers have sex and they talk about it a lot, and they also are grossed up, and it's very awkward for everybody. They're very awkward themselves in their own skin, even talking about it. So they say, yeah, that's good because like at least then
yeah.
like there's having a tangible effect within the world of the fucking anime. It's
Like in Kaguya-sama, it's like here are teens who are having sex and engaging in relationship stuff, and it's the relationship stuff that you're following because A, cute, I suppose, but B, also they're playing mind games with each other, and it's a very fun way to portray that. When they have sex, it's like camera fucking doesn't show any of that shit. It's just like, no, we're not interested in you fucking ogling these teenagers' tits. Like that's weird. Don't fucking
yeah.
do that.
I
Don't
don't
do
know.
that.
I don't know what the purpose of it here was besides just I don't know.
Horny
Some
animators. That's all I
like
can
just
I really
horny
explain.
animals. They might trick somebody into watching this because it's their jam, and it's like you go right ahead. I think I'll spend my half hour squeezing
I
some more Go 13 like I
yeah.
was doing.
I'll consider watching it next week, but I'm fucking considering more not watching it because that's just really fucking soured it for me. Again, it'd been doing the kind of growth, the artistic collaboration, all that stuff very good, but it keeps having this fucking undercurrent of creepiness, and it just entirely fucking the entire middle of this is that. But, yeah, couldn't handle it.
Go Go Loser Ranger, episode 6. 1 plus 2 equals threat.
That nearly works as a pun. I really want that to be threat. Like, is that what I'm supposed to
Yes.
pronounce it as?
One
Something like
plus
that.
two
It looks
equals
great.
dead.
Anyway, yeah.
So it's exam day, for Foot Soldier D.
For all
the
the
class of-
White Dragon Rangers.
All the
Colorless
recruiters.
Rangers. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that it's
then-
like we're gonna have some senior guys playing the monsters, and you got to get this key from them to pass. And go, everyone fight in the parking lot right now. Let's fucking go. Just that it happens immediately is so much fun. Yeah,
You've got, was it 3 days? But it's only half an hour each day. It'll happen.
but you don't know when it's gonna happen. Yeah, you know when it happens because the monster appears. The other guy
Just
appears
gonna
saying,
jump
"I'm the
you."
monster." Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, and he's got to team up with, is it Shion, this guy, who no doubt we'll learn.
The one who
what his
hates him the
motivation-
most, or hates the
Yeah,
Yes.
because
who hates the person he's disguised as the most.
they've teamed up all the guys with what they figure the thing they're going to go into. So these guys are the direct attacking guys, so they're all in the red team. So we put them on a team together, and it's like they hate each other, even though he's pretending to be the guy he's playing, and he's just like, I'm going to pretend I like you, and that doesn't work out to him up to the point where he pretends he does actually hate him when he actually does hate him. So yeah. They've teamed up in their various, like, you're probably going to go into the yellow team. You guys are probably going to go into blue, that kind of thing. You're just that type, basically. We've already figured that.
Yes, and then Foot Soldier D essentially shows that he ain't the red type. He's whatever. Which was it? Green was the stealth team
Green stealth one again, with
Yes.
more ninja ones.
because he just realizing that, oh my god, I can't go and fight. Well, first of all, he's happy once he sees who the monster is. That the red fighter is the guy who's already beaten up once already.
His face is fucked up. Love that. Yeah.
But before he meets him, we meet who the yellow monster is, and oh my goodness, wouldn't you know? It's his co-conspirator, Suzukuri.
Hmm.
Play
but,
along. I am.
Yes. But he's like, oh my goodness, it's going to be tough because if they get one solid hit on me with their
Lightsabers.
fake dragon weapons, yes, then they'll reduce to dust. I'm in trouble.
He's up.
So he wants to just observe this session and then go back. But
Yeah, like what we'll do, he says to your man, is like, all right, we'll sneak. All we got to do is not get caught by him. So we'll sneak around, keep an eye on him, see what's the best way to handle this tomorrow. Because we do get like 3 days of this. Your man's like, I'm doing it directly. I do what I want. Stay out of my way. You know.
You do slow me down.
yes.
Exactly. Yes.
He's like, oh, okay, well, we'll go together. We'll say, no, we split up. You yell when you find him.
And I'll come kick his ass and take the key and pass. All right, that's the fucking plan. I'm the boss.
Yes,
I don't
'cause-
work with others. I'm a lone wolf. That's why I'm on a team of Power Rangers. Yeah.
Yes.
All right, buddy.
But
Also, I
also,
like Dee's approach in this. He's just being persistently quite polite and saying, "Hey, buddy, you want to shut the fuck up and listen for a second?"
Because he's trying to play the role of your man. It's like, how
Sakuraba,
would he?
yes.
He keeps asking himself, how would he handle this situation? Because he needs to stay in character. And it's only when he kind of breaks character and actually becomes his inner shittiness, but through that character, that he's just like, I got it. I know how to fucking handle this.
yes. So first of all, the initial thing he does is start hurling fire extinguishers at him, and then eventually, once what was the woman who's going after the blue team? No, was she the blue team? Can't remember. Or was it after the green?
She was
team?
green team, but she was going after the old
Sui.
guy. Yeah,
That's
because
it,
she was
green,
green because she had the little green laser knives that she kept throwing.
Pocket knife, yeah.
Yeah, just like many of
It's
those.
all I need.
Yes, because she's wearing a school uniform. She's not wearing the ranger gear.
Ranger suit. Mm.
And she gets mad with Tokita. That's it.
I like that the
What's the
two
face
separate
dude?
of the other
Yeah.
teams had the great idea of, what if we steal one of the cars in the parking lot and run them the fuck over? It's just like, there's no rule against it, right? And like they either came across it separately, or one team went, that's fucking a great idea. Let's do that too.
And then he starts confusing. He's like, okay, because it's now the 4 of us against the 2 of them. It's like, who can draw? Can you draw? No. Can you draw? No. Well, I don't think I'm very good at drawing, but I can draw a bit. And so she
Like,
draws.
these are great. These are like the sketches from the manga.
Yes.
It's perfect.
Yeah, it's like, you should give up being a ranger and become an artist. He says, "Oh, you think they're really good? Yes, they're ideal for my purposes." And then I go sneak into the cloud of extinguisher dust and start turning into each of the two people who are supposed to be the monsters, so they end up fighting each other.
Like keep bumping into him. It's like, oh, sorry, I thought it was one of the guys. It's you. It's like, oh, sorry, I thought it was one of the guys. And you one's like, eventually, like, you know what? Fuck you, and starts like stabbing him in the arm with the little knives. And it turns out that was the real guy.
Yes, because he's already observed that Takita annoys Hisui because she's senior to him, but because he's older, he doesn't give her the correct respect. So
he's like 3 ranks above him or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and she's really particular about that and violent. It's very, very violent. So
I get she must be like fucking metal bat or something. It's just her superpower was being a tough delinquent who beat the shit out of you.
I guess she does have the long skirt as well, which is like the tough delinquent thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, she is hiding her weapon down her throat.
Gross. Hate that. And she keeps pulling out knives, so I'm guessing that's where she's keeping them.
Well, when the coppers come and you haul you in, you want to have something in store.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I guess that is. It's like hiding a razor blade at the top of your mouth, and I guess that's what the reference is to her.
Yeah.
So he ends up getting stabbed multiple times in his left side, is because as later Fighter D points out, because he's got bandages over his left side, he can't see from that direction. And so they just continue to attack him from that direction. And goads Shion into helping by saying, you're too injured, Shion. You hang back. I'll deal with this.
Like, and he realizes this by the fact that A, the guy has done the opposite of everything you've asked him up to this point, but B, it's like, remember when we used to listen to the Sunday Fight on the radio, and there was one guy who was like, get the fuck out of my way, like, and he always does the opposite of what you order him to. That was him. It's like, I just need to reverse psychology of this thing. It's like, don't worry, I'll handle it from here. You're injured and too weak to help me and useless.
You don't slow me down.
Yeah, and your man's like, oh yeah,
I see.
So that's how he gets him to cooperate and work with him, for lack of a better term, or at least be a distraction several times over. Yeah, it works pretty good. Everyone's got each other dead to rights, and then the klaxon goes. It's like, all right, that's day one of the test over. Everyone break for showers. And everyone's fucked up at this stage. I was like, Jesus Christ! Hope they have good medical in the Rangers. Yeah.
Well, talking about he'll be like an easy mark for day 2, so I could just take him out early.
Oh dear! Unless they sub him out due to injury, which I mean, I'm surprised they didn't in the first place.
They don't seem that nice.
His face appears to be in a brace, just to hold it together. So it's a cool brace, but yeah.
Yes, headshots don't count. He shouts as he's been punched in the head by Fighter D.
Not in the face again. Not in the face again. Yeah. It's good, straight to it, like good action, good mind game action as well. So yeah.
Yeah, I think this was my favorite episode of the series so far.
Yeah, it seems to be like this is kind of what it's about, and him kind of going like, okay, which of these White Rangers are actually a threat to me? Who do I need to eliminate? It's like, those guys aren't gonna fucking make the cut. I don't need to eliminate. They can be the last of humanity I kill. That's fine. And he's like, who's actually the threat? And then having to team up with the people who are the most threats to him.
Yeah, it's just coming from the other side. It's just like, okay, I fought these dudes so many times. It's like one saying, if I were a monster, what would really fucking annoy me? What would be the most annoying thing? Because you come over to the other side of there, and it's just like, this fucking. It's kind of weird. It's kind of like evolving at a rapid pace. You see, like a very simplistic, simple-minded dude at the very start of the thing. You need nothing but this, and it's just like a dude's like, I don't know. He's just like maybe out learning and things at an exponential rate.
Yes.
It's not so much like I don't think he's going to level up his power level or get stronger, but it's just like I gotta fucking think better. Like I have to outsmart them and using the system. Like even him, like and again, it's the reversal of we have the seasoned Rangers being playing the monsters, and he's like, that's not what a monster would say. Like I fucking like, and he's giving out to them on their monster portrayal, that kind of thing. It's just like, because now that the shoes are reversed, he's pretending to be the good guy and they're pretending to be the bad guys, and he's like, I know how to fucking take you guys out. Again, learning, like you said, now really fucking quick, and that's the thing that he needs to do, because that's the only way he's going to win.
I think it's also important that he's learning about humans more, and not just seeing them as enemies.
He's learning how to interact with them. He's learning how to play them off each other. It's like that's the way to fucking get them. Not running at them with your knife hands. That's not going to help. They all have superpowers. Yeah.
Yeah. But also, I think he's going to be at the point eventually where he doesn't want to kill some of these because he has actually
several times over. He's gotten to know them. He's like, I'll kill you last. Like he keeps thinking to himself.
Not the artist.
Yes. It's like Shion's thing is that there's a particular monster he wants to kill. And that's the other thing which gives D pause. He goes, monster? So I assume they think that there are no monsters left to be killed.
Yeah, that their leaders are all been taken out. Is like, are they or did they fucking do a runner? Because we know, like we even know, like with the fighters, like some of them stayed on Earth, like what's he calling her now? XX or something?
XX, yes, yeah.
And she's just saying from the closet, "Don't say my name, you motherfucker," that kind of shit.
Some of them were off starting cults.
Yeah, some of them were off starting cults. Some of them went like underground and are trying to take the Rangers out from the inside. Other ones stayed up on the fucking thing and worked in the Sunday show, that kind of thing. It's like, so there are different factions. So presumably, yeah, there are still monsters out there.
Yeah, we know as viewers because we've seen one running riot.
Yeah.
In some part of the city. So, which then it's like, okay, so what are these Rangers doing? They're doing the top ones are doing the show rather than dealing with an actual threat that's appeared in the town. Yeah, good stuff. Really enjoyed it. Glad that it's back, even though it was technically back last week, but we had to catch everything up into the correct timeline. Otherwise, I get confused. Then tell me all about the other monster fighting show, Kaiju number 8, episode 6. Sagamihara neutralization operation at Daybreak.
Big fucking Evangelion vibes rolling out here because you're getting like, joint operation with the regular army and then the monster fighting army forming
the JSDF are setting up like missiles to draw the kaiju this way into our range of fire. Like we're basically trying to herd these fucking mushroom kaiju, I guess, the lack of a better term.
It's like a big kind of like mushroomy crab thing. It's got like a big tower of spores spewing out the top of like a smokestack, and it's like
it keeps producing
loads of little ones.
Yeah. And that's the main fucking issue, as it turns out, because taking out the big guy, not a problem. Problem is the amount of ones that come out of its corpse when it falls is like, that's messy. And also, like, I appreciate, again, like, much as I do enjoy the manga and everything, I kind of wish it was more this, like, Kafka looking around is like, well, can't help with any of this shit. Time to start cutting up this dead one that someone else killed. And everyone's like, what the fuck is he doing? It's like, hey, boss, I just wanted to radio it in. Yeah, they got glands for breeding more of them at the lower base thing here. Their core is located here. I just chopped up one using my chopping up dead kaiju powers or skills, and it's just like, that's actually really helpful, Kafka. Like that's a good thing to have in the field.
Forward to all units. Even Renault's kind of figuring things out. There was just like, oh, I know, I just swapped up my rounds for freeze rounds. Seems to be like doing a job against Jesus.
It suits his style better. Yeah.
It's kind of fun that these UTB, like, the meat for the meat grinder will week off. No, a good crop of recruits this year. We're actually like, doing this in pretty good time. Like, we've got time there for fucking me to get in position with a giant fucking like laser cannon and start blowing up again. Much like a similar thing to Evangelion. They have a big sniper rifle to shoot something big from a long distance. And
I like the fact she had to request like the shot, like taking shot number 1, permission to fire. It's like, yeah, absolutely. Shot number 2, yep, go for it. Shot number 3. I mean, like, he's mostly dead, but yeah, go on, clean up.
Gotta be sure.
Permission, and the thing it kind of comes across as she's basically showing off to Kafka. It's like, Kafka, you see how cool I am? See this. You got to be cool like me.
Why won't you talk to me? I can't. It's insubordination.
Yeah, you're both grown adults. Come on, lads. But
it's all going pretty good. It's like, okay, all right, well, like, lads, you go in there and let's like, make sure it's like, mop up and make sure there's nothing in there. Hoshina has fun down there as well. It's just like, like, you guys are going there to put big guns and all, but and that's not my style, actually. I got a family lineage of killing monsters, so I'm just like chopping them up with knives in a really cool way up close.
That's the other thing. I think I think it's the first time he suggests that like his family fighting style with swords has been passed down for like hundreds of years, and I was like, how long has fucking Japan been dealing with this society. I mean, like, because you see it like at the start, the evacuation when this kaiju comes in, and it's just like people lining up for buses, and the kids like, "Ma'am, I want the toilet," and everyone's just treating it normal as like, yeah, everyone on the bus. There's loads of room. It's very calm. They've dealt with this a million times.
Yeah,
Traffic lights have go, slow down, stop, and kaiju on them. It's like it's so normal in this world. I like the normalcy of it. Yeah.
Yeah, even this, like, it's like a big operation, but like it seems very routine, and it's also for the new recruits. They're kind of showing off to potential squads who might recruit them. There's definitely like that red-haired captain of the squad just one saying, "Wow, this one right here, he's pretty good with a gun." And this one right here, like, he's also pretty good at a gun, but they're both total hotties. He's kind of like, the kind of cool, kind of strong stand-up. He's kind of like, like the real pretty boy. I want them both in my squad.
Yeah, I think
it's like, she's got the cougar mode again.
Cougar mode activated, and that's different from the prior thing because all these people are legal adults. That is a bad sentence that I hate saying, but it's better than fucking Jellyfish can't swim, which is just like these people are definitely underage. It's like completely different situation.
And then naturally, it's going to be a kaiju number 8. It follows that there might be a kaiju number 9. Because Ihara was trying to keep up with Reno and saying, "No, they can't let Reno show me up." And then it's like, "Hey, you there, fucking monster mop up, dude. What's happening? Didn't hear the alarm that there was going to be epic? Ah, man. Damn, you guys fucking wrecked all my cool monsters that I made."
You even found out the egg sacs in them and shit like that. You even took those out. It's like, maybe you can explain it to me while I mutate.
Blah, 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 blah. No.
So it's number 9. He's showing up for the first, but not the last time.
Yeah,
or he's showing up directly to them, in front of them, is what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the kind of menace there. It's just like, of course, like, it won't be the main character who finds him first. It's just like, the two guys are going to get injured and or killed. Oh no. Yeah, it's it's good having it like in color, I think, because it just makes some of these kind of, if something as large scale as this, it's like a bit easier to keep track of. These are big monsters and tiny little people.
Yeah, and some of the framing as well, like I said, with the evacuation just being so fucking normal, with them talking, is like, listen, this isn't like a big operation, but people could get killed, and mostly we're here to cause the minimum amount of damage to infrastructure and people's lives as possible. And shots of like a shopping street and shit like that. And I was like, yeah, they're actually like doing public service essentially. Like it's big and exciting and cool and bang bang shooty laser guns with monsters, but it's like, no, we're trying to help serve the public good is essentially what we're doing here. And I was like, yeah, okay, it's nice to see it in context in universe. Yeah.
Well, that with earthquakes and tidal waves,
but like to apply that to kaiju.
It depends. Like, we've taken them all on. What could be worse than that? Oh, we found something from out the earth or whatever has come to fuck us up. It seems to be evolving to destroy us. Evolving at an unusual rate. It's very much like, it used to come like every other month. Now they come every 2 weeks. At this rate, they'll be here every 2 hours. Or that speech was from Pacific Rim.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
It's definitely much comparison to that. No, I suppose there's plenty of other kaiju things like, that are in the mix. Yeah. How should I describe it now? Just the suits and things. It comes up as very like Marvel movie-esque. Not sure.
Yeah. It's the kind of thing of like a guy running around in a gun, but with enhanced strength and durability and the ability to do cool flips and that kind of stuff. Yeah.
I always thought it was more like fucking like an FPS, like a first-person shooter thing, particularly with all the wall running that they're doing.
Yeah. What's the one? Titanfall. That was
Titanfall as that. Yeah.
Mechanic. Yeah. I like. It's definitely influenced by a lot of those things, and games is definitely one. Yeah.
Yeah, I just kind of wondered, like, when it's just like, well, first there's very much Marvel movies watching first anime. It's got a lot of Marvel vibes up of this.
Wait till they start getting like individual weapons that have like names and special abilities and shit. Then we're going more so that route. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we're not at the point where we say we get a lot of Neriali vibes off this, which definitely got off the next episode of Train to the End of the World. Episode 8, Isn't That Bad Karma?
Can you see why I wasn't as confused as to what happened to zombies when I started watching this episode by accident? Because I was like, wait, what the fuck is happening? There's a lot happening.
But
Well,
first of
didn't
all,
you
they
read
rush through.
your Nuri like production catalog?
They rush through a
Yeah.
few more cities to get the districts rather. So we get one which is really itchy.
That's one that has ominous piles of rocks that I assume were people. Anytime I see a bunch of not fucking humanity there, I was like, that's probably what was
I
left
think
of people.
that's something like, isn't that like, a grave marker custom in Buddhism?
That's
or
what I'm
something?
saying. Is like
Or
people
some
were
sect of
turned into
Buddhism.
grave markers, basically, is what I was thinking. And itchiness. Is that what killed them? I don't fucking know. They didn't stay in that station long enough.
One which seems fairly pleasant until they get hit with like visions of their regrets.
Probably like your worst memory or your most fucking
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
just like the dark moment that you've told nobody about.
Because the dog is just whimpering, and it's a quick shot of him getting sprayed with water in a cage, and I was like, Jesus Christ, that sucks, man. Also, your one killed a badger, apparently. Sorry, Mr. Badger. That kind of shit. The one where it's all ominous apartment blocks and there's like one light on, I was like, oh, I hate this one most of all. I don't know why. Some claustrophobia vibes it's giving me anyway.
I like it. This is a good way to just like get through a bunch of them and get further along the track. I was just like fun saying, nope, not getting out here. No way.
Yeah.
And more importantly, Shizuru's ones are the flashbacks we've seen in the episode so far.
It's her biggest regret. We already know her background. I guess it adds more depth to the other characters on the train, even though we don't know the specifics. Like your one, who is probably our main focus for the episode, feeling regret over. She thinks she broke up her parents essentially.
Yes,
because she didn't intervene. Yeah.
But then we reach a town which they already knew had been turned into the plot of Neri Alley, but more specifically, the plot after the last episode of Neri Alley.
Oh yeah, when everything's like wrapped up and resolved, so it'll just be like a utopia. And I had to like in your background there now, I had to pause and read all the fucking the wiki entries on all the characters
because it's all in there. Like it is like the Neri Alley like guidebook, and you just flicks through really quickly, and it's just like, well, now you got something to go on when they get airdropped fucking straight into the madness when they land in there. Because it is the post post ending kind of bit, but except this case it's all fucked around and the bad guys won.
Because it turns out just putting the bad guys in a bag does mean that they could possibly escape that bag at some point.
But they have to obey the rules of shogi, and since they're shogi pieces, putting them in the shogi pieces bag should stop them. It's just like,
but just resets the game.
Yeah, you could just play. They started playing it again under different rules, is I think what happened, wasn't it? Essentially.
Yes,
this kind of shogi. In this kind of shogi, we can make this kind of move. Oh, that's dirty pool. It's like, you didn't think of that, did you? That's why we're bad guys.
Because they discover that the heroes of this world, 3 of the 4 of them, are already dead by the time they arrive at the town.
And not the one with suicidal tendencies.
Yeah, ironically, that one got away.
Suchan.
Yes. So the heroes are Alice.
Alice in Wonderland fame.
Alice in Wonderland type character.
Except she has a bow. Like that's an Alice in Wonderland thing, right? It's like, yeah, sure, why not?
She's the most reasonable one. Then there's Iron Monty, a professional torturer who doesn't like torture on himself.
Yeah, he is an Iron Maiden come to life. Also, he's a sadist. It's weird.
He's one of the heroes.
Yep.
Suchan, the hardly suicidal girl who has a noose around her neck.
Her catchphrase is dying.
Yes.
Like, don't take my noose off my neck. I will die. That kind of thing. Yeah, she's weird.
And Opium, an opium poppy who has come to life, but don't worry, because if he's genetically engineered, he won't make humans get addicted to him.
And he
feels real good, man. Oh yeah.
He spurts white juice no matter what the fuck you do to him, which is good that it doesn't affect humans. It's also a gross fucking visual. Why is there an opium plant in this fucking
well, they keep going with man cow.
Oh, the fucking villains! What's the deal with the muscly cat? Because it went by too quick. I couldn't even get close.
Calico Cat. Oh, he's great. He's a rare male calico. The one who brought Alice to Dark Nerima. Calls himself a video game enthusiast. Never skips his workouts. But aren't those muscles more of a turn-off? As for why he works out, bluntly put, so I can snatch new consoles and games and make a run for it. Hates shooters, action games, RPGs, and simulation games.
It's most games, but there's usually like puzzle games and like
Yes.
brain training. That's all I in there. That's what it's left for you now.
Man.
And of course, shogi games.
Yeah, of course.
Rhythm action.
My favorite character is obviously Ruggers by a long shot, because it's just the visual contrast of like Ruggers is a rugby player who's obsessed with baseball. He flies around in his flying canoe shouting baseball memes.
Where's a hockey mask?
Like, wears a hockey mask as well. Like, I was just like, what the fuck? I love that. That's great. I hate looking at Mancow. Everything about that.
He has no love of rugby and doesn't care if you mix it up with gridiron football.
Some people get sensitive about that. Not Ruggers.
It's just phrases like "Hey, better," or "Nice swing."
Love it.
Johnny Dan, the reincarnation of a sumo wrestler who sacrificed to the gods. It was like a sumo wrestler Wicker Man kind of thing.
Yeah. It's half Wicker Man and half like, because he's also a torture thing, because he's in that like rope torture thing. Is like half Wicker Man, half that. Like, because he's the mortal enemy of the Iron Maiden guy.
Mancow is part cow, part human, but has 4 all-season tires in place of legs.
He also has rotating udders that he shoots acid lactations out of.
Yes, melty milk.
Acid breast milk, yeah.
That's it.
Extremely scared of weaning.
Yes, and these all work for Chaos, who is a Norfolk Terrier.
Norfolk Terrier,
wearing
who's only here to cause chaos in the world.
He claims Japanese wolves went extinct because he devoured them all. But yeah, and over the course of the episode, they slowly dawn on them that despite calling himself Chaos, he's in fact very ordered, because him and all his henchmen work according to the rules of shogi. And also,
and also all the pawns. I love the pawns. They're my favorite. Like, besides Ruggers, they're my favorite. Like, they're just all incredibly violent, all just shouting, just like, "Hey, fucker!" You know, just being very rude but pleasant for the most part.
So they find some of the pig type citizens who were humans before they turned into pigs. This is in the story, and now they're humans who've turned into pigs in real life as well.
Yeah.
The pig people with dependency issues.
Yes.
Yeah.
They weren't pigs. It's the dependency issues turn them into pigs. So they can't destroy the shards. So therefore, we'll steal the shards from the tombstones that they put them in, and we'll put them in the fountain. We don't have to go to Chaos's
summer home,
holiday home, home, where the fountain is, because we've already swapped out the water from the fountain with some sort of iodine based
so it'll sting his pee
liquid.
Yes, is basically this is there, because when they, again, it's fast fucking going through like the wiki of this non-existent anime where it's like, oh, we'll just escape through the escalator door into the real fucking world where the pigs are running a ramen restaurant that only serves beef, and they're like, oh, we're not the underground resistance. We did replace all his pool water, which is the magic fountain that can be revived with them with a chemical that'll hurt his dick, so he can't go to his own fucking pool. So there's just like, so all we need to do is get the scythe from the death pawn, which we did see him at a stall when we arrived. Get the scythe, chop the
open their graves and retrieve their soul gem and bring it here, and we'll do the ritual. We're able to revive them. Except we got the fucking our fucking mixture was wrong. We just seem to have dissolved their immortal souls in this.
No, now they're super dead. Now they're actually dead. Yeah.
They did mention that it was unlikely to work because they'd only done it once before in the series
on Mancow, and it was unlikely in that case. But the other thing is, like, it wasn't so much that it was unlikely to work. It's like, did someone change the settings on the revival fountain fluid or something like that? And I was like, what do you mean change the settings on liquid? That doesn't make any sense. But none of this fucking...
Was it a boil? Was it a simmer? It's very important.
Then Sushan gets killed and her shard immediately falls in the pool and explodes.
So good.
This is building the full. They spent like building a big fucking build your own ice cream sundae, and then immediately here we go. Somebody.
Oh, we forgot one of the villains. Because he's the guy who killed Su Chen. He's
Guilt incarnate.
Guilt incarnate. Who is in a sleeping bag and is constantly apologizing. Obviously,
But he kills you.
I did like Guilt incarnate as well. Yeah, I love all of this, man. It's pure fucking madness.
Yeah. So then the girls have to pretend to be the heroines of the series.
And they all fail except for the one who wants to be Alice the most. And she's like, "Oh, you can be Su-chan." And she's like, that's the worst one.
And they get chased through a graveyard, and then that's where they realise the shogi rules, and they easily defeat the villains by attacking them from their weak sides as shogi pieces. Then
Chaos
escapes
by using a flying saucer.
Yes,
that's not in the anime. That's not in the anime. And he's like, "Yeah, I got it from the witch queen of
Ikebukuro.
Ikebukuro." And they're just like, "Hey, wait a minute, that sounds like our friend." And he's like, "Well, okay. I mean, like, I'm still gonna squeal on you because I was keeping you here specifically because the witch queen said don't let anyone get to Ikebukuro."
Yeah. And also, he's like, "You're just the sort of people who she hate." And it's, I don't think they outright say it, but it's definitely implied that she was the one who took them out of the bag in the first place.
And changed the settings on the revival fluid and fixed it so that the bad guys definitely have this sewn up unless someone comes in and plays the characters and obeys the rules of shogi.
Because she was like big into it, but she was showing it to Chizuru. It's just like, I don't get this character. It was pretty funny. No, it's pretty straightforward. You see, Chaos he's a dog with a suit, and he doesn't use violence. He exploits weaknesses and picks away at them. It's like,
yeah, she's the one who got them into this anime in the first place.
He probably has thoughts about well, I think if I was writing a sequel, it would go something like this. Would that be more interesting?
Yeah, this is great. I think you really do need to pause and read those fact pages, though. I feel like that adds so much to it.
I knew it was off to a good start when it was like rolling up to the first station, and to see animations of them breaking out. It just went, oh shit, speed up.
They're too itchy to speed up the train. Yeah. It starts animating good, and then it just gets wilder and wilder as it goes. It's good.
Yeah,
it's almost like
Mizushima.
Yeah,
it reminded me of Kujibiki Unbalance, the show within the show of Genshiken that he did the anime of. I was like, he's got form for doing a fictional story within another fictional story.
It doesn't even feel like a pitch for a different show. It feels like no one would ever fucking even pitch this show. This show is madness. It's good.
It just kind of primes you so much, it's almost fun, like subliminal. I was fun, hitting it so quickly. And it's like, we're seeing important stuff like the main cast's darkest fears and worries just flash up for a second. It's just like, whoa! It keeps bombarding you. You almost I forget that bit towards the end. Like,
yeah.
Nice.
Then you can tell me all about. No, you can't. It's Root first. Root of OddTaxi, episode 8, Trajectory of a Fall. This is how you fill the rest of the time up when we've got to the end of the story already.
This ain't over.
We got some flashbacks to go through.
I do like it though. It adds a lot of depth to it. Even because our girl, who the murderer of both shows are kind of based around, is she gets a lot more background and a lot more development as opposed to just instigating factor.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the first half of this is the discovery of the body by Rui and Yamamoto. And the disposal of the body, and this series is still kind of hiding who the murderer is, though I think by the end of it, it's kind of giving you the nods if you weren't aware of who the actual murderer is.
Our detective is putting the fucking pieces together. She's absolutely Columboing by the end of the fucking thing. Yes. It's just hang on a fucking second.
Yeah, the end of the thing where you're like, oh no, you made terrible mistakes hanging out with her alone, and then you realise once she's on chatting to the other guy, it's like, oh no, she's fallen into their trap, not into
the
murderer's trap.
That's good shit. She knows what the fuck she's doing at this stage. But yeah, the most of the episode is I guess the fallout from the show as well, because it's going to the funeral, and at what's his name? Don.
Don Raku's the family home.
Don Raku's thing.
That's when she spills as well. Like I loved her daughter. Like she was like a great friend of mine, but I was almost frustrated about how brilliant she was. I fucking pushed her down the stairs in a moment of madness because she was going to be like, on the fun long jump team. It's just like
we see the flashback to that, and she says like, I'm not mad. She tries really hard too, but clearly like it's eating her up inside and pushes her down the stairs, and it's fucked up, and everyone else in the school is talking about her. She's suspended, and everyone's like, I'm going to leave school anyway, and I did want you to come to say like I'm going to leave as soon as I get out of the hospital, but that was the plan the whole time. Like I do want to be
but you kind of thinking was me pushing her, was I pushing her to fucking leave, and then she wouldn't have wound up here, she wouldn't have got it's just like you're trying to fucking assuage your own guilt over this thing. It's completely unrelated to her getting killed. It's just there's fucking like people out there like we've got their own fucking agendas and motivations, like, but she can't help but wonder, could I have done something differently if I'd been
in her life more, if I'd been a better friend, if I hadn't been a jealous kid.
I didn't get the chance of phone tell us to apologize to her for it. Everything's going to
there's so many wonderful scenes in like where she's walking alone home and through the fields from school, and when she visits her friend in the hospital, and her friend is like, can I have that keychain that I thought was really cute, and it's like that was on her phone when she died, so it's clearly like it wasn't just that's a cool keychain, I'll keep that. Like she did mean something to you as a friend because she kept this reminder of you with her until the day she fucking was murdered. And her last thing, it was like where she's crying in the corner, it's like, are you crying? That's gonna make it really hard to leave. And then hard cut to her fucking funeral. I was like, fucking hell, man, that hit me pretty fucking hard, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah. I also assume that's going to be a mirror of whenever we get Wadagaki's motivations.
Yeah.
Of like the pushing down the stairs is going to be mirrored by what she could have done to take it even further is murder her.
It's the thing of you had a violent thought, you let that frustration build up inside you to attack someone who ostensibly you care about, but like let that fester and let it fucking grow is the difference between the detective and the murderer, basically.
But also particularly if it goes in that direction that I thought it was going to go, and this is that Wadagaki is going to turn out to be the illegitimate child of Don Raku and has the added personal jealousy of
being the true heir or something. Or sorry, the non-heir. Yeah.
We'll see where it goes. But I think next episode is the Wadagaki.
Well, it's be like extended. Like we're gonna get full on fucking OddTaxi, fucking take a fire ride with me. The missing fucking bit that we never really were privy to.
Yeah, it's in the film, but like, the other thing I would say was interesting was like the bit with Don Raku and the wife at the funeral, where they're just like being told is like, hey, I pushed your daughter down the stairs because I was jealous of her. That's in the past. Don't worry about it. Like they're just so happy that she's come to the funeral, that she was such a good friend, that she worked so fucking hard to catch the killer, but it's all fucking done now. And the episode kind of continues. Yep, it's all done. I guess there's nothing to be done. Yeah, the guy's under murder investigation. They got pulled out of their premiere show that was sold out, and everyone's like, it's not fucking over though. I haven't caught who did the murder yet.
Well, you see, like, fucking they have, we can't go out and do the show, like, fucking, Motion and the Kaiju are gonna have their little, like, meeting here. One phone showing up and saying, I didn't want to do that show anyway. I meant to look for representation. You and me should go talk. She's already working. Working her fucking next plan, like, next stage of it.
Just very looming threat. Yeah.
Yeah, the one thing they tone down is weirdly, I think only visually, because later they talk about it in the news, is it's less obvious that they've cut the body into pieces than it is in the
it's all wrapped up in the tarp. They were saying they were going to dissolve her, but you got like the other two Aegis threw her into the harbour instead.
I do appreciate that. It's not so much a plot hole, because it made Yano and your man look fucking dumb as shit for dumping the body in the harbor, that kind of stuff. But they were basically like, no, we're gonna chop her up here. We're in our like coveralls. We got the black light to get rid of any like blood and fingerprints and all that kind of shit. What we're actually going to do is we're going to take it's way more difficult to dispose of a body by sea, so we're going to take her upstate, fucking dissolve her in some lime, and like it's much fucking easier. But then the manager, being the way bigger piece of shit, and he was already a piece of shit in the anime, he's just like, come on, Nikaido, help me fucking dump this body, and we're just gonna throw it in the sea right now. And they're all like, oh, what the fuck, man, come on.
I know, it's just like, I just want this to be over. I just want this to be over. We can't wait for it to be. I just want this to be over.
Yeah,
While someone spots
he's-
us, this
too impatient. Like he's such a dick, more of a dick than he already was in the show. Yeah,
he buckles like a belt when the fucking chips are really down. Right?
Yeah, I think the only thing I don't like is Yano seems too competent without the rapping.
Yeah, what
missed the rapping.
Yano? You used to rap so much.
I do.
I had to put that away.
Only porcupines rap. That's why he's not rapping.
Well, that's a different kind of brain injury if you're seeing people rapping for some reason.
I was going to say, yeah.
I mean, like again, Yano comes across as very reasonable, where he's just like, "Hey, our boss gives us one rule: don't fucking kill anyone, because cleaning it up is way too fucking messy." And even him, we know he's been arguing with the boss over what should be done about their criminal empire, that kind of thing. So we know he feels he's the most competent criminal, which is why he thinks he can get away with
feel like
this and the bank robbery.
I think I do agree with some of the comments. Sorry, the fact they seem more competent about disposing bodies when they show up here than they do in the anime, and it makes more sense in the anime that they don't seem as competent, because technically they never should have to do this, because
it's not a thing they've had
and the character.
Yeah.
They don't like killing people. They're not supposed to.
Boss explicitly says, "Don't fucking kill people." Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Where do they get all these coveralls from? Well, I guess they might have them for other reasons, but covering up
for the fucking Badger game reasons. Different fucking cleanup we generally have to do. Yeah, don't worry about it.
We were a few chop shops, you know.
Yeah, it's very good. Now you can tell me all about Bartender Glass of God, episode 8, a challenge.
It's the cocktail awards, the cocktail challenge. We got our three young ingenues here when trying to do different approaches and what they're trying to get out of this competition to begin with. Like Yuri, she just seems to be the most kind of got together. Like, she knows her stuff. She's a pretty tough gal, and
it's just her. She's struggling
with a cool name for it.
A cool name, struggling to find inspiration, that kind of thing, and
it's
through talking to her boss, because they're both from, is it Okinawa? They're from
Okinawa, yeah.
So they have the kind of same dialect. And it's like, I could lean into like my Okinawan culture and go with like my naming scheme from that. And it's like, yeah, that works. That's a good, like, bring yourself into it, because that's what it is about, making an original cocktail. The cocktail.
Yeah, she seems like she's set up now. Kyoko then is just like, she's just been fucking. But hitting the fucking, like, the shaker and I'm shaking that thing, getting it just right to my fucking get blisters on my hands. So you probably don't need to approach it in that manner, like, do you? But it's just like, she just kind of been put forward for this, like, by her bar to try and, like,
and
like,
she doesn't want to shame her because they've done
name out there.
They've done right by her. And we do get her backstory with the bar, where she just came in as an obnoxious drunk one night, and your man was just so sound out. She was like, "Cool, I want to be a bartender." Which is nice.
And of course, when like Kevin Chen, he's just like, I gotta show my dad. I'm cut out for this life, And Ryu was kind of impressed by that fun saying, well, he didn't just like just give up just there and then at the first time he said no.
He did stick to it. He is still working the thing. I did like your one kind of come in and it's like, he's still around. He's going into the cocktail problem. The real problem is he's still hot. Damn it. I hate that guy.
It's going to be like, a very profound thing. Like, just like, nope. It's just, he's got that, he's a looker guy, bless him. They've asked Ryu to kind of sit in and get his take on things.
They've basically like kind of strong-armed into it. He's like, come on, guys, stop asking me to do extracurricular activities. He needs to start charging them. He needs to fucking start charging them for all this fucking extra shit they're making him do.
He doesn't really do much.
I don't want you to judge. I just wanted you to point out to me any of the bartenders you think are interesting. That's it. That's all I'm asking for. And Ryu's like, okay, fine, old man, I'll fucking do it. I'll do you this other favor from the big pile of favors you keep asking of me. Yeah. I'm more annoyed about it than he is. He's too much of a pushover. But yeah.
Anyway, the day of the competition arrives. Mr. Perfect is naturally on the judging panel because he's Mr. Perfect after all, and you got to know there. And get him out when Yuri's out first. She's put it all together, and she kind of made this little thing, this little like a little blue number called the Chimigukuru. Where it's like an Okinawan phrase, like like a to your health and so on, and or something like that, or welcome. And
the blue is kind of to like the look of the ocean, that kind of thing, but also it's like representing it in the flavor profiles and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, and I when I first came to the city, like I felt I went to where my place was. I was starting somewhere new. I wasn't sure like what to do, but then like around in this bar, like my bartending senpai here, he's from Okinawa, so it made me feel right at home. And that's why I having this drink, if you feel like you're out of place here or somewhere like where you don't feel you're gonna fit, and then it's have one of these, you'll feel make it feel like you've been welcome, a warm welcome in, somewhere nice and relaxing.
Which
nice Okinawan hospitality for you.
Which does fit into Ryo's kind of thing of like, being hospitality, and fucking hospice is derived from the Latin. It's like, it fits into the themes that have been set up so far. So you figure she's in with a good shot. What did you want to make? You want to make like a ginger drink. It sounded really nice.
It was like Kyoko did it's got a gingery kind of lemon thing.
I mean, like that's right up my alley. Like just a punchy kind of thing, just kind of a strong thing coming out of the gate.
It's got
something that hit hard. Yeah.
Whiskey, Drambuie, Suntory. So all the profits material, by the way, of one Suntory ginger Watsunaga, which is just like just a ginger fucking additive, and then fresh lemon juice. But she almost chokes. Just like it's like, oh, I'm supposed to. She freezes up. It's like, what am I do? What am I do? But then you see is kind of the old like bartender from her bar, the head dude from her bar in the background. It's like this Cam is anything. It's just like familiar face. I'm on it. Like this is one called a headwind. I've had like a lot of like headwinds in my career as a bartender, and my journey to get here. But if you just keep on going like this, maybe like do this to keep like the gumption you need. There's fun, power on through. And I guess they always just kind of really get more type of ones. Like, she's pretty ginky and cute. Yeah, we like her energy. Yeah, go.
Then we get the Chen, who has just studied every prior winner of the cocktail awards for the last 50 years it's been on. And
I already know, man. You're on the wrong track already.
He's on the wrong track, and also he has denied, like he basically threw the tickets into the fucking into the river kind of thing. It's just like, I'm not going home, Dad, till I prove, and you take me in, and you believe that I'm a good bartender and a good son. But he's also like not said any of this or that. He just sent him like the YouTube link to the live feed of the cocktail awards with no explanation in the email. I was just like, good on you, Chen. You're standing up for yourself, but you should probably like use your words.
There's something to be said, like for like you there's the message, but also the medium. It also shouldn't be discounted, Chen. if I just communicate my feelings through like a very flowery like backstory to this drink I'm about to make it from a live fucking packed audience here, maybe you'll get it. Maybe he'll come across to you.
Yeah,
there's a fun flower language in there as well, because everybody involved in hospitality is like tries all the classics of medieval fucking courtship or whatever.
Went through classical literature and everything. Yeah. Actually, your man didn't he? The guy who runs the bar that stays open.
Yeah, he's got his degree in philosophy.
He did. Yeah, so I guess it is a bartender.
Yeah. What job is there is that for you? But we're in a bar. I was like, well, sure.
But Chen is the guy who chokes. Who's like, you have to make like
five for me.
One for each of the judges. Yeah, and you make it the same, that kind of shit. And he flubs the last one, spills his fucking drink, and he's like, oh shit. And he only makes one finished drink. And Mr. Perfect is like, I got a question. How come you only made one drink? He's like, I just wanted to finish it through. This is the thing. Like, he goes through his backstory, and it's like, no. I mean, why did you put 2 flowers on it? Because in the submitted drink, you put 1 little chrysanthemum on it, and he's like, it was to represent like both my backgrounds as half Japanese, half Singaporean, like that kind of thing. And I was just trying to get that across. And apparently, off screen, that message does get through to his dad. He is working in his dad's hotel as a bartender, so it's he's getting there.
I'll begrudgingly accept your request. I suppose you're still going to be like under me, but I'll let you like pursue your interests.
It's kind of a medium ground that's been resolved off screen kind of thing. It's not the worst thing.
But it was like he was never the most interesting fucking dude. I mean, like I did it, like didn't get. the fucking pathos he's looking for there. Definitely never quite came across in him.
Yeah.
Like naturally, fucking you rerun that. She fucking slam dunked that like over very by fun. Hey, no problem. She's just there. It's just the war certain was just polishing the glass one. Said, yeah, no big deal. I knew I could crack that one.
And I have thought they were going to do the reward for her winning the cocktail thing is everyone keeps ordering that fucking cocktail at the bar, and she's just like happy to make him up. And I was like, okay, so it's not actually a punishment essentially for winning. It's just like, oh no, everyone's delighted with her new drink. Yeah.
Well, if it gets punters in too. Well, if I can get one of these. But the bigger payoff is for Kyoko there. It's just like,
that's good.
Just closing up for the night, it's okay. I'll tidy you up, boss. Do one thing. All right, I'll see you later. I'll just get a step out for a bit or like that. Anyways, he comes back then, and then
he comes back in not
as out of the uniform. He's fun saying, "Oh, why, hello, ma'am. I wonder if you could get me a drink." It's just like, "Oh yeah, sure." And that's when she knows then you can make a cocktail for him and serve it to him, and just like this is the kind of place that a master bartender will go to, and that's enough. And
because it was her asking him like, it's like, are you cool with me like leaving this bar? Because she's actually been picked up by the our billionaire magnate guy who's just like, yeah, she's an up and coming bartender. I think she'll do good to this bar we're trying to set up. And she's like, are you cool with me leaving because you've been really good to me? And he's like, no, absolutely. And proving it, like he becomes her customer the way she was for him. It's just like, you're good enough now. You got the maxi. It's a nice moment. Yeah.
It's the thing, and I kind of there's different like styles of them. It could be kind of they could get a bit kind of purple prose like Ryu does, which is again why I've been enjoying seeing him get kind of called out for. It's kind of fucking. You talk a lot of bullshit, man. You know that. Whereas this guy's just like trying nicely to say like as a bartender, we're just trying to watch out for our patrons and give them what they need. And right now, ma'am, I think you've had enough.
Yeah.
In the nicest, most politest, like least aggressive way possible.
Yeah. It's good. Really enjoyable episode. Like it was kind of like this big build up to the cocktail competition, but again, because it's this show, like really fucking chill for most of it.
Yeah, I had that Chen is out of the picture at least for a while because like God, he's just like I don't know, a vacuum of like fucking like emotion things, and like he's was always seeing the most like, oh, this is just like fucking a very like template like J drama kind of fucking like
but people love that kind of thing, man, so I get it.
Yeah. It was real. I think he's fucking back in the fucking crosshairs next week. So you've been fucking ducking this for a while now. Let's get you back in the game here.
Chibi Godzilla raids again. I forgot to write the episode title down for this one.
Chibi Monsters in the Sky, episode 7 of season 2.
Ooh.
That's the one. Rodan and Mothra are enjoying their ability to fly.
It's more that Rodan is like, isn't it great to be able to fly, Mothra? We're the coolest monsters who can fly. All those other monsters crawling around on the ground like little fucking peons. And Mothra's like, don't be a dick, man. Come on. But also not true. Lots of other monsters can fly.
Here's Chibi Mecha Godzilla with Chibi Godzilla riding on his back, flying through the sky, which makes Rodan plummet until they point out that Mecha Godzilla has the ability to fly but can't actually fly.
But chooses not to.
It's external apparatus in that they built jets into him.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, that counts.
But then Rodan foolishly says, "Well, that's not flying. But if you were flying by using your heat breath, I might consider that flying." At which point, they hard cut to Chibi Godzilla flying using his heat breath,
like in the movie.
Like Goku.
Which goes to plummet again. Also, there's a fun gag where Chibi Godzilla can't talk while
shooting fire breath.
Which is how they get Rodan to pull out of his plummet once again. It's like, oh yeah, I can talk with flying, so your sort of flying is useless because if you can't talk, what's the point of flying in the first place?
Who are you going to chat to? Like on the long journey.
And because you're not flapping, so you're going to get stiff shoulders. And then he explains.
Yeah, I'm right.
And now you're up here. You can see our beautiful Monster Island. Look how beautiful it is. Guys. Oh, and everyone's back on the ground where they're going, it's pretty good flying, but being on the ground's where it's at.
That's where all the stuff is. So,
Which causes Rodan to plummet one more time, and this time they don't bother saving him, and he just ends up buried in the ground.
They have seceded to his fucking whims enough to be like, you know what, fuck you, Chibi Rodan, you're kind of a dick. Which is always the joke with him, but yeah.
Yeah, Chibi Mothra's like, I better deal with this. And the other's going, good luck, Chibi Mothra. And she compliments him on his wings, doesn't it? And there's that the thing which gets him to pull out out of the ground and swing back into his happy state. And that's that.
Yep. Still good.
Back in next week, where Chibi Godzilla has mutated again. Next week.
It's always a phase and a fad with that guy, I swear.
Would they? I mean, I assume not, because Toho fucking hates the American Godzilla. But is he ever going to mutate into American Godzilla, or is a very obnoxious American tourist Godzilla going to show up? That would be fun.
Yo, konnichiwa, minasan.
I think he's going through the
Godzilla deaths.
The shin phases again, by the looks of things.
Oh yeah, that is the grossest one to mutate into. So yeah, okay.
Then we've got Delicious in Dungeon, episode 21, Egg and the Golden Country.
Where the next party finally shows up. The other party that's in the intro.
The Canaries.
The feds are here.
We're gonna shut this dungeon down.
Can't make food in this place. It's disgusting.
Not quite for health and safety reasons, but I guess for the dungeon spilling out and murdering everyone outside for
health
and
safety reasons. Because you cause an apocalyptic incident that can destroy an entire country, as Cabru relates to the town council.
Yeah, he finally gives his backstory fully in speech rather than just implying it. So yeah.
This part is on in there. It's like, you don't want to go in there. Fucking Western elves are in there. They don't fuck around like one thing. Yeah, but I really must insist. He's just
because he's going there with
Shuro.
Shuro. He's going there with Shuro to basically go like, okay, what's our story? It's like, okay, we're not gonna tell him about fucking the lads' party. We are gonna tell him that a human mutated into a monster, because that does need sorting out. That's bad. And it's like, okay, we just want to get the story straight as to what we are saying and what we're leaving out. And even when he kind of busts in, because they're like, we do have to bust in because the Lord of the Island is immediately going to secede to the elves as soon as he fucking can, because he is not cut out for.
He's just there. He's usually in the middle of this, of his fucking lunch. He's just like, I just want to have my godmother wine and my love for bread and grapes. Just why all these people? Who really come from?
The expression on Mr. Tansu's face is just like he is being driven to his limit, having to convince the Lord not to just go along with what the elves want to do.
And again, they get it across because elves live 1,000 years or several hundred years or whatever the fuck. They treat every other race, even though dwarves do also live a long time. They treat every other race like babies. It's like, isn't this fucking island under tall man rule? It's like, it doesn't matter. They're like, oh, you stupid babies have fucked up your dungeon. We got to come in here and clean it. And so basically, all the canaries are in the meeting room going like, come on. Let us fucking kill everything in the dungeon. Come on.
Yes, because don't they say that their plans they try and replace the dungeon lord to keep it stable?
Their plan is to replace the dungeon lord and shut it down. Shut it down, boys. That's basically how they do shit. Yeah.
It's also that you see these dungeons are often awesome place to seal something away. Is there something down there we need to keep sealed that might be getting out?
Yeah, and just take control of the dungeon and shut it down when it grows too far beyond the thing. So as soon as Kabaru shows up, someone there's a human turned into a monster. It's like, oh fuck, it's progressed that beyond that fucking point. Yeah, that we definitely need to get in there. And he's like, hang on a second now, I have a proposal, and he gives his backstory about he was from a town where the dungeon overflowed. Canaries came in, many people died, most
killed
people
a lot of
died.
Monsters. Kill a lot of survivors.
But
we wouldn't know about things, but
oh, you were taken in by some high elf one, and she was really good to you. Why didn't you stay with her? It's like, because again, they would have probably raised him until he was a man of 90 years old, and he would have been just like, I had to do my duty and make sure this would never happen in another dungeon again. It's like, oh, that's really fucking forward thinking of you. Yeah, we should probably listen to this guy a little, just a little, except for one of the Western elves who's like, all right, you son of a bitch, I'll listen to you for now. Let's fucking see what you got going. And it was the one elf who was staying fucking quiet that entire meeting. So, it's like, oh shit.
I meant to go back and look in there again because I'm not sure even fucking you even kind of see him because he's always kind of steered down.
He sat like down and he keeps his head down and he shut up the entire meeting.
I think the first time you see him is when he grabs the fairy who's annoying him.
Yes. Yeah. Because they're about to contact the boat, the Western boat elf, with fairy communication, just going like, I'm just going to ring the boat and say like, start invading the fucking thing now. And they're like, bop, 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 bop.
We should also say like half these elves are wearing clothes and the other half are wearing towels, essentially.
Tunics.
Which I know this will be explained later.
This
but
will
it's
be
not
explained
in this episode.
Pay attention to their ears as well.
Yes.
Yeah, that's one thing. Just the fact that they have like a regular kind of uniform. They're not the dungeon. They're not a dungeon party. They're a dungeon fucking cleanup crew, essentially. Yeah, they're here to fuck shit up, and they're very willing to fucking get to it as soon as possible.
I like these characters because I've run a D&D campaign where I had NPCs who were very much the same sort of thing.
It's a great fucking one to run. Yeah,
Shoot first, don't ask any questions later.
Yes.
We have one job to do.
They're basically like murder hobos whose purpose is to fucking murder the problem away.
Hobos? They came with a whole bunch. They got fucking possessions.
I mean, like functionally as a player, if they were a player character, it was just like, we just go in and kill absolutely everything, right? Yeah, okay, that'll do it. Great. Yeah.
Meanwhile, yes, I'm talking about eggs.
I get some eggs.
Souls.
Yes, Senshi fucking loves the metaphor of eggs, and Marcel's like, why did I fucking go with eggs? He's going to equate everything to food now. I was just hungry. I was just thought of eggs.
Was it scrambled or poached? Is this fucking why I'd answer that? Because you can scramble an egg and poach an egg, you can make it into cakes, you can make it into eggs Benedict or French toast. You get one double yolk and an egg. Super sweet when it happens. I love it. It's just, you thought a very elegant metaphor, honestly, because there's so much definition to it.
Mere days after saying, "Oh, you'll never see Angel's Egg get licensed," Angel's Egg has got licensed.
Yeah.
Wasn't that in the works already? Want to do like a 4K thing of that, or was it maybe the 4K showing?
That was the Japanese release. Was the 4K? G Kids have just announced they've got the North American license for it.
I thought I saw that doing the rounds, but I didn't realize it wasn't. It was just a Japanese release. Okay.
Well, I guess they yokes on us for doubting them.
Anyway, back to these. Just distracted me out the corner of my eye. I suddenly saw Angel's Egg in there. Yeah.
The show you're talking about.
Leos reveals that, oh yes, I've been hallucinating all these ghosts because the cat.
I thought that was part of magic sickness.
The cat's staring into the corner.
That's so good. Like the kind of like, yeah, your pet can see ghosts. The cat's just like reacting to shit, and it's like, hey Marcel, are you supposed to see like ghosts and shit? And it's like, no. It's like, are you seeing an actual ghost? It's like, yeah. And you see the ghost like a horrifying apparition over your shoulders, like, you son of a bitch, you can't fucking hear me. Like, and it's just like, yeah, he's really annoyed that I've been ignoring him this whole fucking time.
Oh, be careful. Like, it could be like a demon or a fiend. I'll tell him that. Yeah, he's pretty unhappy with calling him a demon and a fiend. I wouldn't say that if I were you.
Yeah, and it's funny because it's like, again, because none of them, like, and he's like, I didn't tell you because I knew you guys would think I'm crazy. And Silver's like, yeah, I do think you're crazy. And it looks like Leos is talking to his imaginary friend every time he's talking to this ghost that's been haunting him. He's like, yeah, he says he wants to take us somewhere. And I was like, all right, I guess we can check it out. And like, ghosts pull you into the wall again. Oh, crap. Not this again.
Hey, I saved you last time. You're welcome, by the way. Like, can't you ghost? Can't you complain?
But yeah, I really did like that it was Izasumi being the cause of it all coming out by staring at where the ghost was, because my brother's
you could sense it but not see it. Yeah.
My brother's old cat used to do the thing of just staring at the corner of the ceiling. And you're like, that's none of the other cats I've known have done that, but that one particular cat did love to stare at the corner of the ceiling. You're like, what are you seeing?
See shit that aren't there, and in a world where ghosts exist, yeah, it's probably a ghost.
So they're dragged into the
Golden
titular Golden Country, where we meet all the people who are waiting for Delgal to return because they've become immortal and the sorcerer won't let them die.
And it's initially they see them as like, oh, you guys are from outside. Quick, wear these clothes because while monsters are tame here, you wearing our clothes will make the monsters go like, hey, wait a minute, you're not from the Golden Land, and start fucking attacking them. It's like we need to pretend you're locals and get you out of fucking sight, and also out of sight of a certain mad fucking wizard. That would be good too.
Yeah. But they all find something that they can enjoy in here. Izusumi is very, very docile because it said monster docility field is having a weird effect on her. She's becoming very much more affectionate and wants to kind of curl up in her lap.
She's not like a docile monster, but she has regressed to the mental state of a kitten, essentially.
Yes.
She doesn't mind being petted. Like that's a first sign. That's a fairly good indicator.
Like Senshi and Lars having an amazing time. It's like, you planting like these like mangoes out in the fields. Oh yeah, we got fields of fun. Oh I gotta see some of those. This is amazing and fun. Saying you've got minotaurs in the bar. Yup, we milked them. Oh my god. I never tried to see this day.
they're like kids at a fucking playground. They're having a great fucking time. Even Chillishock's like, this is good booze. This is some good shit. And it's like,
thanks.
Oh,
thanks. That's pretty old brew. It's been like I'm in this like around 900 years now. It's like, oh, okay, it's one long family. What generation are you? First. Okay, that's interesting.
And everyone's super nice, but there's things that are slightly off. Like they want to dress up Marcel, and it's just like, because we're working on fashion, but we're working from the same people for hundreds of years. So do you mind if we dress you up in like some fucking cool future fucking
it's just
shit?
Like,
by the look
please
of
forgive. Like, no, our must be very out of date because we haven't seen the outside world in centuries. Like, oh, sure, it's Paris looking one way.
A cubic dress made out of starlight, as far as I can fucking tell.
Yes.
Do you have anything a little plain or like a princess dress that you could dress me and Itsuzumi in? It's like, yeah, we got one of those.
We got positives, yeah.
It's the idea that it's like we're immortal. We don't want for anything. We just grow food and make meals and shit. Most of us don't fucking need to eat because, again, immortal.
So we don't go crazy.
We don't go crazy. So we got a hobby because otherwise we go crazy. Because a bunch of people did try to leave and they didn't fucking come back because their bodies rotted out of here and they're stuck in the dungeon as ghosts. You probably met some of them already. It's like, oh yeah, we did. How's Delgal doing? Did he get out?
He's fine. He turned
got
to
out.
dust after announcing the one who can like slay the fucking lunatic wizard will gain my kingdom, and then that was like, he just got trailed off there.
And it's Delgad's is it Delgad's son or grandson? Yes. Yeah, who they're telling this to, and he's like, well, I'm glad he fucking like got to move on from this because we would all love to move on from this. So you're obviously the legendary hero foretold in the prophecies in our dreams by the golden lion, which is enchained in the fucking thing. And they're like, fucking what? It's like, yeah, look, you got your sword has wings. No, it's fucking, oh shit, it has wings now. Holy shit.
Have you not noticed all the winged lions like all over this dungeon, in the fountains, in the living armors? It's just
they weren't on the
hard
sword.
to miss.
They weren't on the sword.
They weren't on the sword. So they're like, you're the one to prophesy to free the golden lion, free us from the curse of the mad wizard, and get us out. Like, let our souls fucking pass on, because we all really like to die after 1,000 or so.
Laos thinks the cleaners added the crest when they repaired Kensuke, is that sword's name?
Kensuke, yeah.
Yeah. I went back and checked the episode. That is not the case.
It isn't. Yeah, you're right.
No. And also, you've frozen in a really funny face.
Awkward.
I know, because I was explaining something. I was going to have a very stupid face, but there's nothing I can do about it.
Brain cell.
Yes, it appears when the Chimera appears. So it's not there on the sword when they're having the argument.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
It's only when the Chimera appears.
It was the timing of that I was wondering about going back on it. So okay, good to know.
Yes. No, once Laos says, "Oh, it must have been when the cleaners fixed it," I was like, "I'm going back and checking, Laos, because I'm not sure you're right."
Well, he's fucking There's like also like like one of this like fickle like fallible memories of people. But him in particular is just like he just like as it pointed out when they see like, well, these like versions of us that have been cloned out from Rios's things all just like lacking in detail. He doesn't pay attention to nothing. He's a bit of a fucking dope.
He's an unreliable narrator in this case. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and also I was wondering how much effort the animators had gone in to put it. And oh boy,
Yes.
they make you see the hilt of the sword so many times during
He's always going,
around that
Kensuke,
time.
help me.
Yeah.
It's good shit like that they've actually planned it out that well. But yeah, one of the other details I like with the Golden Land was everyone's grand there. They're all fine and shit. But all of their eyes, none of them fucking shine.
Blank. Yeah.
They're just blank. They're just like, yeah, I mean, like, we're happy we're still alive and kicking and not gone mad or turned into ghosts because our bodies rotted away. But like, we would like to die now, please. That would
We'll
be
serve you a
great.
meal. It's more so to live vicariously because we can't, I guess, over the centuries our sense of taste and then I guess pleasure and everything has dulled. So we just kind of want to live vicariously, seeing the true living, enjoying a hearty meal of Minotaur
like
steak. Oh yes, your friend ordered on your behalf.
I was like, doo-doo-doo. They talk like one of the things they do give the mead to and whatnot is the orcs, and it's just like because they're just like they're delighted to see someone enjoy the shit. And I was like, again, another way that the orcs are surviving in this very inhospitable fucking landscape. If you can just pop into the guys who will give you free room and board and food for nothing because they enjoy the pleasure of your company. Yeah.
Yeah. So Laos is left pondering, am I the legendary?
Team meeting.
He can't be. He would not letting him be the fucking legendary hero, right? Everyone is like, we're all fucking agreed with that. Yeah, yeah, we can't be having that happen.
I love that essentially just taking a load off here, like they're like at a slumber party, he's just like just down to his jocks just once, so, like his kind of arm up like that. It's like one saying, "Yeah, man, I know, man, it's a pretty heavy deal."
Yeah, just essentially letting it all hang out. He's great, and he's just very excited initially very excited that they've managed to make sustainable farming out of monsters and monster plants and all that. And he's like, "This is great," but as soon as he tastes their food, it's like, it was bland. It was just so fucking like this can't be like he was initially like this is what I fucking always wanted, and then he's like, oh, their food sucks though. This is not what I wanted. This is messed up.
She doesn't think it is also what Marcel wants, isn't it? She wants to make
to some
a
extent,
useful
yeah.
dungeon.
Yeah, she wanted to make a sustainable dungeon because that's a sustainable source of mana and magic and all kinds of stuff. Yeah,
it's can only be sustained by like a centuries-old curse, though. So it's
it's the curse part that kind of fucks you. Yeah, yeah. It's like, how do we work around that? How do we not get stuck living for 1,000 years and like just trying to stave off madness, essentially? Yeah,
because they can make good food, but the beer is great.
Yeah, not that they can taste it, but
you probably feel the effect of it. Maybe not even, maybe you can't even get drunk if you live forever. You instantly degenerate.
Because they don't need to eat or drink is the thing they say. Some of them do for fun, but most of them don't need to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. I like the way they realize, oh yeah, they're just doing this to keep sane. They go through the motions of life because otherwise you end up like the sorcerer.
Yeah, or like a ghost or any other number of things. Like, yeah, they have to pretend like they're living like regular people because they're not. Yeah, it's good lore stuff, and it still manages to have a load of comedy of Leos like running in. They let me milk a minotaur, and it's like, let me explain it to Chili It's like, I don't want to fucking know. Don't fucking explain it to me. Do not explain where the others are. I don't fucking care. Don't tell me nothing.
Then we got Windbreaker, episode 8, Succeeding the Past, in which we carry on with our fights between Sakura and Joe Takame.
You should have punched your friend up back then, dude. That's what I would have done.
Got to stick by your principles, like I keep shouting that I'm doing in the middle of this fight.
Why would you fight me properly?
Yeah, you can take his one flag and but because he wants to want to take it on himself, all the punishment, all the fun being playing the villain, like.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to shut down his friend. It was the first person who, like, one of the first people who kind of reached out to him and got him into it. It's like, lads to kind of have fun, pat around with, and if I drive him away, like, will he be my friend anymore? But part of being a good friend is calling your friend out when they're acting like a dumbass.
And yeah, part of his thinking is like, I'll take on being the villain. I'll be the one to, what they call it, the peeling, like the taking off the jacket or whatever.
Yeah.
Kicking people out and kicking their asses when they're already down. It's just like, I'll do it so he doesn't have to, and therefore he has a chance. But by doing it, you're only enabling him. Is basically the crux of it. Is just like, yeah, this is, you should have stuck by what you fucking believed in. And it's like, now that you've mentioned that, you're right, and I can really enjoy this fight as we both start beating the ever-living shit out of each other, like smiling and laughing the whole fucking time.
You knew it was on. We just like, I was gonna pop off the clogs here, and slide him over to one side of 1 foot, and just okay, Sakura, just throw down everyone and say, "Oh, no one."
Let me reintroduce myself. You can stop calling me Scruffy or whatever you keep calling me. This is my name. You're Sakura. Let's fight. And Sakura's like, nobody's ever called me by my name before. It's just, he's
so
smitten
romantic
for violence smitten. And I love the way like the crowd reaction is like, dude, what the fuck? Why are they laughing? This is fucked. They're just like, this is weird. It's like they think this is messed up. Whereas like this, the guys, and again, this being presented on a stage, they're having the time of their fucking life. They're having a great show.
Yeah, it's sort of like interesting, like, a lot of the Shishi Torin dudes, the mob of them in the stands are like, oh geez, this is a bit messed up. And then like the Bofaroon dudes in front, when who fucking like what's his name, fun Yire, it's just they're fun. The fun beating the shit out of each other, like, I don't know why I gotta do that, but the feeling there, it's so beautiful, man. It's just making me cry.
Like they get it. It's like, hey, they're having a conversation with their fists, like just like their man said. It's great. They worked it out with violence. It's great.
It's coming in. It's coming in for that last hit now. And Joe Foley still thinks, well, I've had this coming for a long time. So like, when they're going in for that last punch, he pulls it, and Sakura decks him, and he's like, "Why the fuck did you do that? Why the fuck did you do that? It wasn't a real fight. This ain't over yet."
It's like, nah, you beat me fair and square, like with your morals, and you've shown me the true light and the way. And so the boss kind of goes up. All right, come on, we're doing the final fight. Let's fucking go. And he's like, hey, come on, man, it's over. Let's just fucking end it here. And he gets taken out by his own best friend for his troubles, which is like, yeah, that his best friend delivers the not killing blow.
It's like, we do the thing where like, oh, you've this was like a bad dude, but like, you see he's actually a good guy underneath, and we're just about to be like best friends / rivals forever. But then a worse dude comes along and takes him. It's like, oh, you're a bad man.
Mm-hmm.
It's an old trick, but I haven't seen it in a while, so it worked on me all over again.
When it's done well,
got swept up in it. Got swept up in it.
Sorry, no, go on.
Sakura's about to start fighting Choji, as Choji's just hit Kagame, and he has to be stopped as well, because now it is time for Choji and Yumamiya to have their fight. And Choji goes off on this speech about how when he beats Yumamiya, I'm going to actually have some tough guys around me, and not like all these losers who are currently in my gang. I'm going to be in charge of a tough gang, and I'm going to be free then.
If I beat their school, I win their school. Those are the conditions. It's like, are they the conditions?
It's never going to be enough.
Yeah.
But then, of course, his guy goes, is that what he really thinks of us?
And Yumamiya, it's just like, someone with such a simplistic, just absolutely banal outlook, I'm not going to lose someone like that.
Like, I like the fact that he's like, oh, they're going to cut to the fight like next episode. And it's like, nope. This episode where, and his thing of it is just like, did you learn anything from their conversation that they had with their fists? And he's like, what are you talking about? He's like, oh, no saving you then, huh? It's kind of like, it's like, okay, let's go.
I can't have a good conversation with this. It's like conversing with a toddler. So it's just a simplistic, naive worldview. You've never ever thought about for a second behind your own dumb face, have you? I don't care how many those weird, like, gravity-defying turns they're doing in midair to try and kick me in the back of the head or the back of your foot. It's not like when a cat gets surprised, just like one flips around in the air. How are you doing that?
Because the way he, like, you see the other guy is like, obviously he's bigger. It's like, well, he's going to do better in this. He seems tough, that kind of shit. But the way the other guy fights is like a ferret. It's just like, I can't fucking get this little. Yeah, no, I mean, like he uses his size and his lightweight to do ultraviolet things, like basically piggyback on his head and start beating the shit out of him from a piggyback position. And I was like, Jesus Christ, yeah.
We get the flashback to Yumamiya when Choji came to their school and say, yes, you had it rough, hey. And then because this seems to be the thing we've not had revealed yet. Is
Yeah.
what is rough in Shoji's life that he's running away from it
What's he trying to be free from?
by
what caused him to
fighting
turn
all the
from a
time.
happy guy to an extremely bad violence guy?
Yes.
Not good violence, bad violence.
And he's keeping himself happy by saying there's always going to be something. I'm going to reach this
then
freedom
I'll
if
be
I
happy.
punch
Plateau.
enough people. Yes.
Yeah.
And human beings realizing, oh, this guy ain't going to understand it by us having a conversation. So
There's
now
only
I'm
2
gonna have
words
to-
you understand.
yes. Now I'm going to have to make his nose bleed. Because at that point, all of a sudden he switches it on, and we get a black and white shot of him doing this punch, and Shoji staggers back and then realizes his nose has exploded.
Oh, he fucking landed one, and a good one as well. It's like,
It
shit.
was very fucking like One Punch Man. It's like, you know, you always see like the word death flash in front of your eyes briefly. It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's grand. Oh, wait, I said to Niall before we started recording, when I got to this evening, I was like, did I watch Windbreaker? And then I went back to it. So, oh yeah, it just moves so quickly that I forget
It feels
this entire
like you,
half-hour episode.
I was talking about it like we've taken less time to go over it, and it feels like it's like, oh, it's very slight. Then it's like, no, they just like the pace of it's so quick, it's so like smoothly runs through, and again, all the fighting's good, all the flashbacks enhance it very well, like just really good shit.
It's like, you know, a good like an end to end, you know, from we're gonna go for real now, from shoes off. I don't want to break your face for now with these wooden clogs. I'm just gonna go and go at it. And just go at it, and they get a good amount of just variety. They didn't just like, you know, loop the same kind of fucking taking a few things down the gaff one, walking off one, doing the fun the fucking heel kicks and everything like that.
There's a lot of good flow and motion back and forth to it. When they do a cross counter, it's with kicks, that kind of fucking thing. It's just like, yeah, mix it up a little. It's nice.
Yeah, and also just like, you know, because you get the initial few bits of the Umemiya when Shoji fights, it's like, you know, oh, now you're even more pent up now because that was just the fucking the warm ups there. Yeah, just like getting the engine running there, and now he's fucking guys motivated now by fucking justice to want to smash this dude next episode.
Yeah, and like with the getter on Joe's feet, they make a lot of like the tread design on the trainers that Choji's wearing plays a big part in like
it's like interlocking rings on his
fight.
isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's fascinating visually as well. So apart from was episode 6, that was the one rough episode so far, but I mean, 7 out of 8, that's pretty good going.
That's a great average, yeah, sure.
Then finally we got Astro Note episode 8. Hey, we still don't have episode titles.
Doesn't need them.
It does not need them because we've got a dog who's possibly an alien, and we're going to get video evidence of it. So therefore, the alien better act more like a dog.
They're just a kid like following him around with an iPad is really fucking funny.
There's lots of funny stuff. There's the old man taking the dog out to hit on
women in
the park.
Oh man, he's like, this man is no dog lover. Like, cause it's like, oh, what's his name? And he says his name. He's adorable. I get that a lot.
Oh, Tony Doggy. He's like a wacky old man. He doesn't mean no harm. So like, he means plenty of harm. He knows what he's doing.
Mira, there's a sale on carrots. I need some help so we can get as many carrots as possible. And then we don't see the sale, but we see the aftermath where she has stacked the most amount of carrots you can possibly get in a plastic bag and is being complimented on this.
This is what the relationship is going to be built on. It's like, you know, we first like kind of slip out this romance, but I realized she was good at putting lots of things into another thing, i.e. like carrots into a bag or food into me.
And also the implication is like, wow, you sure can cram those carrots in one after the other, putting them in there, just getting them squaws in there. Next week it's clams. And I was like, all right, show, I see what the fuck you're doing here. Okay. I mean, if that's how you want to do sexual tension, that's fucking fine by me. But
carrots are a known aphrodisiac.
A known penis shape. But her kind of going is like, do you have like, and him being involved constantly, like, where the dog's like, come on, we got to have a meeting. This kid's fucking out to get me. And it's like, yeah, I guess you better act more like dog. It's like, what the fuck are you doing in here? The dog is like, it's like, I'm in on the fucking secret now. So he's like, hey, do you guys have like sales for food on Planet Wisp or Planet Widow? And she's like, I don't fucking know because I'm royalty and I'm just kind of outside of my purview.
What's Naosuke's deal? Like, oh well, like his like race, they live longer than us. So we have like at birth we're assigned one of them, like and they're like our bodyguard for life. It's like, oh, this must be pretty sad. But like when you die, he's still around. It's like, yeah, it probably is actually. I mean, if he's carrying a lot of like baggage, but he doesn't really share with us. That's probably why he's so grouchy all the time.
And
Now
now
that I think about it, I haven't considered his perspective as well as humans' perspective, as well as a lot of fucking perspectives outside.
And how
of my
demeaning
own.
it must be to have to crawl around on all fours like when there's children around.
And shit in
Yeah.
the street and have an old man usually pick up ladies. Yeah.
I
do
watch
like
the princess so much bad pick it up in a bag.
I do like how Takumi shows that moment of sympathy for Naosuke, and then immediately we go into a sequence of him torturing him by forcing him to behave more like a dog than he's ever done before.
He's doing him a favor. He's doing it in front of the kid. Like, it's like, I'm doing you a favor. Come on, fetch the ball. It's like, oh, fucking. No, wag your tail more. It's like just berating him constantly. But he is trying to technically, contextually help him. But yeah, everything is just like, you're being a shit dog. Come on, pick it up, man.
Then we get some more sad stuff with Aoi. Why does he remember me? Luckily,
if it all comes out from the power is cut, and
yes.
Well, what you do when the power is cut, you get
before
drunk.
that, importantly, we found the key. We just dug it up out of a hole in the garden. Because I was going back over this, I was like, I remember the ending. I was like, when did they find the key? It was like a really short scene in the middle of the episode.
It was basically like a bunch of the guys that shown up is like, hey, someone stole my room key. Or it's like, maybe they picked it up by accident. It's like, hey, someone stole my porn key or whatever the fuck. Like everyone's keys are missing. It's like, so the hubby is stealing all the keys in case one of them is the correct key. What if we set up a sting operation where it's like, I found the key to Planet Widow. I'm going to put it in this box.
Safekeeping. Hope no one steals it.
Yeah, it's like, did it work? It's like, yeah, we got him on fucking camera. We're going to catch the cunt now.
Yes. But now he gets possessed by it because it was hiding in the one drink she would drink. And this causes her to blurt out her feelings. And then
also
Naosuke
to show up
says,
on a black light. So, I mean,
yes.
those two things.
And Naosuke tells Takumi he's going to have to suck the hubby out of her mouth.
Awkward romantic tension. And it's initially like everyone's going like, oh my God. And
Johnny,
they're both blushing.
Doing?
But then I was like, there's like a squid going into his mouth from her mouth. And I was like, there's nothing great about this case. This is like a worst first case experience, I feel like.
If Aoi remembers any of this, but I don't think she does, fortunately. It's just going to really give her a lot more hang-ups about this. Like, torture one protagony.
Yeah.
And then we see the hubby hand over the key to a human-looking hand. Who could it possibly be? I mean, there's only two other characters in the show. Well, technically, it could be one of the shopkeepers or the old lady, but
it's
showing
Ginger.
It has to be showing, yes.
Yeah. And also, the key gives you power over controlling Planet Widow. So, I mean, like, that's he seems very keen on that by saying, he's like, I'm your fiance. It's like, we only said that when we were kids. It's like, all right, I better get the key for myself then, that kind of way.
Playing the long game. Okay.
Yeah.
Next week is promised that Takumi finally remembers who Aoi is.
We'll see.
Field is written off. It's actually kind of rotten for her. It's like, she's getting so much shit dumped in her. Like the last couple of weeks.
I was glad of her to land several punches on him because fuck that guy. But like her narrowly missing our heroine with a kick, I was just like, well, she doesn't deserve a kicking yet that we know of. But her commiserating with the dog is like, hey, like it sucks that he's fancying someone else. It's like, oh, don't worry, I know your deal, secret person in room 208. I was a shut in myself, and he's like, fucking hell, you're like the only person to sympathize with me, and I'm trying to manipulate you into breaking up someone. Like it's nice. Like we get like some background with them, and again, sympathy for the dog, but also no sympathy for the dog. A combination,
yeah. Fucking dangerous shit as well. For like, why didn't you just like fill a decanter with the umeshu, man? Why did you just have to carry the whole tank up the stairs and someone's trying to kill you?
With banana peels and falling bathtubs and shit. Yeah.
Good stuff.
It's
More opportunity for slapstick.
Also, let him get hit. He deserves to be hit several times over.
Yeah,
Quite often.
I know they did lunch on the roof at one time, but you worked in the same fucking restaurant. We're in the same photo with the same award show. Come on.
Yeah.
Wasn't that large of a restaurant staff there?
Yeah, that's it. The only other thing I watched this week was 2.5 episodes of Garradin, The Way of the Lone Wolf, which is a martial arts show that is fine. Well, it's not fine, but the story's good, and the animation is not offensively horrible. I described it
kind of what you want, though. Yeah.
On Blue Sky as it felt like somebody who'd got their homework handed in order to make sure they got a passing grade.
They'll fix it for the Blu-ray.
I don't think they will. There's a lot of fixing which needs doing.
There's no fixing this, like, you know, because it's not even like they're basing it off the manga. They're basing it off the books to the manga are based upon. And the manga was by Keisuke Itagaki, who did Baki. If only said, "Oh, Baki was when Gunma was on Netflix, you gotta get more of that." He has no more really. I gotta think he's tangentially related to though. Like, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
It's even more than that, Niall. It's not even based on the books. It's based on the books, but it's not the story that's in the book. The focus is on a different character than the one the focus is on in the book.
So they're not even using the story from the book, they're using a side story that is implied in the book.
They're using the story, but they're changing bits of it. And the focus is shifted onto one of the supporting cast, not the main character of the book series. There's also another manga that came before the more well-known one, but it's not based on that either. So, and everything's based on any of the live-action films or the video games. It's an entirely new thing that would make you want. I enjoyed what I watched. It's just not very well made. And which in theory I would be like, oh, it'd be interesting to read the books, and then I realise, oh well, no, because I'm in the UK, I can't go to the bookshop and buy the books. So this is kind of the limited way. The biggest problem it's got is a lot of the backgrounds are just photos, and in some shows I like that. Sometimes the photos are just photos of leaves.
Okay.
It does say it gives me pause, and this to show it's going to have a lot of fighting in it, and it's just there's some fundamentals here.
He's fighting a bear in the very first scene, and he grabs the bear. Hard cut to the bear landing on the ground, but we don't see the bit where he actually threw the bear. That was my first warning sign of the show. But I will say at the same time, it's not unwatchable. It's better than the Fable. It's better than the other thing from Crunchyroll this season about the punching. Viral Hit.
Yeah, but sometimes it's really difficult when something's like so mid, like it's nothing really to bring you there. Nothing, not even so bad it's good, or so good it's good, but just kind of like it's just in the middle.
Like grab on the back, he had
wildness, just
good economy,
madness.
because it had this insanity that would kind of like make out the back end of it, and it's just like and
would improve any of the lackluster fights or anything like that, because here's a wild fucking metaphor about biology that has nothing to do with the human body, but we're going to pretend it does.
Well, the fighting when you got it was pretty decent. It was supposed to be like very long stretches where, like, you know, it's pontificating about like the fucking potential of the human body of this particular muscle. It's just like okay.
Yeah, this is more like rival karate schools and other martial arts schools, and sort of the politics of that.
Right.
Also, the main character has in the past committed a crime, so the police are also after him. The main character in this, he's a supporting character in the other ones.
It's an interesting premise, at least. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, you're right. If I was a younger man, I would feel more confident in calling it mid, but at my age, I can't be going around calling things mid.
Look, I'm well fucking old. I'm accidentally picking up fucking youth speak. It's not on purpose.
Even though I think that is the most wonderful piece of youth slang, because it is so annoying just to call something. It's so perfectly honed to annoy people who wouldn't use that slang to call something that.
Yeah, it's very good. Like I'm old enough. I understand this. I have been roasted by teenagers. No one can roast you as good as a fucking teenager. My niece said to me the other day, fucking, because I was just like, oh, are you going out walking the dog? I was like, yeah, I checked the weather and it should be grand. It's like, of course you have the weather on your phone. You're old. And I was like, fuck, I've been nailed to the wall. I've nothing I can do about it.
Like, I downloaded an app to identify bird calls today. So let's let's discuss who's got the oldest phone in terms of what apps are on it.
I know, but like, yeah, I'm old enough. I probably shouldn't be using youth slang, but what are you gonna do?
I'm not criticizing for you. I'm just saying it is the apt word to describe this. That's it. Got no more. That's all we've got.
Yep.
Ta-da for now.
Bye.
Good night. Good luck.